Hi guys, it's Jen. So as a follow-up to my previous video that I made the other day, today I wanted to talk to you about coercive control. So, unlike physical violence, coercive control can be subtle and nuanced. It doesn't always leave bruises or scars, but the impact on the victim survivor is devastating and long-lasting. Coercive control is not an isolated incident of violence, but rather a sustained pattern of behavior, including surveillance, isolation, intimidation, and degradation, that is designed to erode a person's autonomy and trap them in a state of dependency and fear. What makes coercive control particularly insidious is its invisibility. Victims often don't present with physical injuries. They may not even label what's happening as abuse, but they live in a world where their life is controlled and monitored, where dissent is punished, often subtly, and where leaving can be deadly. Coercive control is not about love or protection, it's about power and domination. Over time, a person's sense of self is chipped away, and many victim survivors don't even realize what they're experiencing is abuse until it escalates to physical violence. So, here in Australia, in my state of Queensland, on May 26th, coercive control became a crime. I believe in the UK, it's been a crime for quite some time. Australia is kind of just starting to catch up now. So, I'm going to read a little bit from the Queensland Government website about the new coercive control laws. So, changes to the law. From the 26th of May 2025, coercive control is a criminal offence in Queensland. It is illegal for an adult to use abusive behaviours towards their current or former intimate partner, family member, or informal carer with the intention to control or coerce them. The criminal offence captures patterns of physical and/or non-physical abuse used to hurt, humiliate, isolate, frighten, or threaten a victim survivor. The criminal offence carries a maximum penalty in Queensland of 14 years imprisonment due to the serious nature of the offence and the harm coercive control can cause victim survivors. The criminal offence applies to abusive behaviours that occur from the day the law came into effect on the 26th of May 2025. So that's pretty standard. You can't apply laws retrospectively. It had to have been against the law, unfortunately, when you committed it. Now, of course, just because something wasn't a crime doesn't mean that it wasn't morally wrong. But anyway, look, the law is catching up, at least. Okay, so the offence criminalises conduct of an adult where the person is in a domestic relationship with another person, which encompasses past and present intimate partner relationships, wider family relationships, and informal care relationships. The person engages in a course of conduct against the other person that consists of domestic violence occurring on more than one occasion. The person intends the course of conduct to coerce or control the other person, and the course of conduct would, in all the circumstances, be reasonably likely to cause the other person harm. And then, as a definition of harm, it's any detrimental effect on the person's physical, emotional, financial, psychological, or mental well-being, whether temporary or permanent. Okay, so I'll say that one again because it's a bit confusing. The course of conduct would, in all the circumstances, be reasonably likely to cause the other person harm. And harm is defined as any detrimental effect on the person's physical, emotional, financial, psychological, or mental well-being, whether temporary or permanent. Who can experience coercive control? Coercive control and domestic and family violence can affect anyone, regardless of their age, gender, sexual orientation, ethnicity, religion, ability, or location. It can happen in many different types of relationships. The law in Queensland specifically recognises domestic violence and coercive control between romantic or intimate partners or former partners, family members, and an informal or unpaid care relationship. Coercive control is never the fault of the victim or survivor. There is no place for controlling behavior in a healthy relationship. It is never okay, and it is never your fault if you experience coercive control. It is the responsibility of the person using coercive control to be accountable and seek help to change their behavior. So, how can coercive control be experienced? Coercive control is more than just a single act and can be experienced differently. For example, so these are only examples. It's not a complete list by any means, just some examples. So, for example, an ongoing pattern of behavior. Coercive control is a pattern of abusive behaviors. Sometimes these behaviors are subtle and can be difficult to identify on their own. But when they are repeated or continuous, they can seriously impact the person's health, well-being, and safety. Both physical and non-physical abuse. Coercive control can include different forms of abuse, such as physical violence, sexual violence, and threats of physical violence. It can also include or be a combination of physical and non-physical forms of violence, such as emotional abuse, verbal abuse, financial control, and social isolation. Loss of choice and decisions. The intention behind coercive control is to have power and control over another person. It can be disguised or justified as an act of love. However, manipulative or abusive controlling behaviors have no place in a healthy relationship. Hard to identify. Coercive control and abusive behaviors are often subtle and adapted to manipulate or control the individual person targeted by the abuser. It can be difficult to spot the signs and seek help. It can also be difficult for people who face barriers to reporting violence to recognize their experiences as abuse and seek help. So this is a list of signs of a healthy relationship versus a harmful relationship. So in a healthy relationship, you feel safe and comfortable. In a harmful relationship, you may feel unsafe or worry anything you do or say could anger or upset them. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. In a healthy relationship, you feel loved and supported. In a harmful relationship, they limit your social life and isolate you from friends and family. In a healthy relationship, you decide or have a say in where you go, who you have contact with, and how you spend your time. Sometimes you go out by yourself, sometimes you go out together. Sometimes you decide this yourself, sometimes you decide this together. In a harmful relationship, they won't let you go out without them or without their permission, or they say they prefer for you to stay home with them. They decide where you go, who you have contact with, and how you spend your time. They never let you have a say or decide. In a healthy relationship, you can share your opinions without fear. In a harmful relationship, there's gaslighting or making you question your own reality and your own mind. In a healthy relationship, you can be yourself and feel appreciated and valued. In a harmful relationship, your sense of self and confidence is broken down. In a healthy relationship, your partner or family member or informal carer has your best interests at heart. In a harmful relationship, you feel you're constantly humiliated and criticized. In a healthy relationship, you can be open and emotionally vulnerable. In a harmful relationship, your sanity, memory, and sense of reality are constantly questioned. In a healthy relationship, you can make and contribute to decisions freely. In a harmful relationship, you feel like your decisions are controlled or they're made by someone else. So if you think you or someone that you know could be experiencing this kind of abuse, then please do reach out and talk to someone that you trust. There are a lot of services available, and I'll link some below. Um, yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.